Hello YouTube and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Thank you very much for joining me in this video. Last time out we had that weird rover thing, and this time we started building an aircraft of some sort. Now I have gone ahead and built an aircraft, but I'm not all too happy with it. And I'm going to explain why in a few moments after the intro, but the goal for this episode is to try and make a successful aircraft that does not crash, that does not kill its occupants. That would be quite successful. Then be able to strap some science onto it and see if we can do some experiments. But first of all, I think I need to make an aircraft that actually works. So I'll explain my problems with this aircraft after this intro. Right, so this aircraft in theory looks fine. If we bring up the centre of thrust, the centre of mass and centre of lift, it looks pretty much alright. Nothing too special. The centre of mass is somewhat ahead of the centre of lift, not massively, so that is absolutely fine. It will make the aircraft slightly sluggish, but that is... I'd rather have it like that than the opposite way around, simply because in Kerbal Space Program I just do not think I could control one that would have a centre of gravity that was aft of the centre of lift. The other thing to note is that the logo has still not been changed. I literally looked at that at the end of the last episode and said I'm going to change it before the next episode, and guess what? Did not change it. Well done me. Anyway, let's ignore that there. We can't see the logo, you can just see the logo up there, and that logo is... Where's it gone? That logo is absolutely fine. Anyway, what are the problems I have with this particular aircraft? Well, first of all, I'm not sure about these engines. Let's get rid of those two. I'm not sure about these engines, so I might be looking at replacing the engines with some different engines, if I possibly can. If I can find anything that would be available. I'm not sure if there actually is. Hello, that's interesting. Okay, but let's see what we can do with that. So that's the first thing I'm not too happy with. The second thing I'm concerned about is the fact that this is a delta wing aircraft. Now, for those of you who are perhaps not as clued up on aircraft or space or engineering or anything like that, one of the peculiarities of a delta wing aircraft like this one is that it requires, well, first of all, they are fairly thin on the aerofoil. This one is rather thick, but in general they have fairly thin aerofoil sections. In fact, that isn't even a proper aerofoil. Although if I put it together with that, it does give some sort of symmetrical aerofoil. It is not great. So what happens is that this requires a lot of speed to lift the aircraft due to the nature of it and the way it is designed, and therefore also needs to land at a high speed. Now, given my landing gears and the fact that they do not have really anything in the way of suspension, I really want to land this aircraft as slow as I can. Flying this aircraft, it should be fine. Overall, it shouldn't be that much of a problem flying the aircraft, but I think that taking this aircraft off and landing it is going to be a huge issue. So with that in mind, I want to change the wing. That's a propeller. I'm okay with the rear fin. It isn't great. I think it's just got... oh, if we activate this, can we... There you go. It just turns that little bit at the top. I'd rather there was more than that, but unfortunately we do not have that. That's a better wing. That is a better wing. It's massive. Could I make that a lot smaller? No. But it is not a delta wing. The delta wing is that basically triangular shape where it does come down to essentially a point at the end. So that is a better wing. This is a better wing, although this one is not tapered. Now by tapered I mean that the wing tip is narrower than the wing root. So that is perhaps not what I want. And also the idea behind swept wings, though great, this one is looking really good. The idea behind swept wing is that we should be able to achieve fairly high speeds, but the problem with the swept wing is, again, low speed. It is not going to be ideal at low speeds. So I've got to try and figure this out. Right. Do I go for a flat wing, a flat configuration of a wing? So we could go for an elliptical wing, because an elliptical wing is pretty useful. And also I do want to have probably the aspect ratio of the wing, which is how far it is the length compared to the width of it, as it were. The aspect ratio of the wing, I do not want a high aspect ratio wing, because we're not going into a high atmosphere, and really it is for high altitude aerodynamics, so it is quite useful there, if I remember my aerodynamics correctly, which is why you see them on aircraft. You have high aspect ratio wings on some type of aircraft, or some types of aircraft. Not all, just some. I think there's that twin prop aircraft. I keep forgetting what it's called. Is it a I think it's a Bombardier, but I cannot remember the model. Q400? I think perhaps Q400 or something. That one has really, really slender wings. It's a propeller aircraft, twin prop. So something like that, but I'm not sure. I'm really not particularly sure on this. I think a tapered wing is a given. That is going to be just a better wing overall. And it needs to be tapered from in to out. I've seen or heard of ones that are tapered in different ways. And I think the Robin DR400 actually has an interesting taper on it. It has it's a constant through most of it, and then it's tapered on the outside or something. But, or I could go with a... See, that's just a low aspect ratio wing. Right there. Short and stubby. In fact, no, that is literally, if that was a wing, that would just be terrible. These are just different wing connectors. I'm not sure exactly what... Aha! I can create a wing from this. That is what it's trying to tell me to do. Okay, you go away. Let us create a wing. I want to create a... Right. I'm going to go for the route similar to the... Hello. Wing... Okay. That one does not have it. This one does. What are you? Regular Adapt Mark 2. Okay, if I can find a nice connection on the wing, or a nice wing planform, I would be quite happy. Wing. Find me a wing. Angled wing connector? No connectors. How about an actual wing? No. Not something I'm after. I could throw these on the front. I'm not sure what they would do. That's terrible. Swept wing type B. This is very large. Could I scale this down? I cannot. Although, if I were to... See, that structural wing, that one is not ideal. That's... This could do... Okay, hang on. We're some progress here. Because... No, that's just going to give me a high aspect ratio delta wing. That is not what I am after. I know what I'm after. How do I get it? That's the next question. It's just trying to find the right shape here. I'd rather it was tapered both ways as opposed to just like this. This is giving me a sweep wing again. Right. Let me think. The problem with this swept wing is that it is going to give me really poor stall characteristics. And that is what I'm trying to avoid. I know this sounds like I'm just being overcomplicated, but honestly I am not. Well, we could just go for RAF wings. I mean, these would literally work. And then I can just stick that on the end. These would literally work. An elliptical wing would theoretically do the trick for me. It isn't going to be perfect, but it is in theory the most efficient wing type that we can have. That is a terrible one though. It needs to be a proper ellipse. So perhaps not that. Well, hang on a minute. That's short and stubby, really. But having a shorter or a lower aspect ratio should be okay. Should be okay anyway. I'm just trying to. It's very difficult for me. It's been a long time since I've thought about aspect ratios in aircraft and how it would work out and how it would work out the aerodynamics and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, that should give us... That's going to be less drag, I know that. That is definitely going to be less drag. No, it isn't. That's going to be more drag. Because it's a lower aspect ratio. What's the formula for drag? Or the coefficient of drag? You've got the standard drag, and then you've got the coefficient of lift squared over an efficiency, an aspect ratio. So the higher the aspect ratio, the lower the number. Right, okay. This is an interesting one. Okay, let's just try this. I'm not going to waste too much time. This is also a bit small now. I'm going to increase that to... There we go. That is better. Could I potentially... Oh, hello. I could... That has fuel in it. Okay. Let's throw these now underneath. What? Will you... Well, that is not how you stick. How do I rotate you? There you go. Could this fly? That is a more so. Can it fly? Can it land? This should theoretically work. So let's give this a go. Let's give this one a go. I think we can do this. I'm still not happy about the engines, I don't think. Reading the description on the engines, let me just bring up the description for the engine. Where is it? If I just type in jet, it is this engine. Here we go, the Rattler Pulse engine. And there you go. It says a heavily modified version of an enthusiast grade pulse jet engine provides a surprisingly high thrust to weight ratio, which is good. In addition to a lightning quick spool up time, unfortunately it drains your fuel faster than any other jet. I'm thinking that with a lightning quick spool up time, theoretically this could probably run into other issues. Right, let's have a look at the center of mass, center of... right, okay. Could I move this somewhat further back? There we go. It's very, very close. You can see just how close they are to the wheels. One bounce that goes wrong and that engine is gone. Well, let's try it anyway. That is looking better. Of course, doing that does move the center. I'm stupid. Let's do that. Oh no, I do not want it lifted up quite that much. You're backwards. Why are you backwards? What? Why are you backwards? There you go, forwards. Not there. That's very close. That's too close, I think. That's far too close. And that's just done something odd, but that's okay because I can click this and move it out like that. There we go, do that. Get rid of that and that. Right click that. So that's it. Like that. Inverted. That should be okay. I'll bring this... No. Let's bring this down to 150. How does that adjust the aerodynamics? That is better. Okay. I can live with that. I think we should be okay. Other things that I have put on this aircraft. Lots of communication devices. Nothing else really beyond the communication devices. This aircraft is going to have science afterwards. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to put the science, but for now we just need to test this. So it is time to take this out for a few runs. Right, here we go. So the few tests that we need to run on this. The first test I want to run is to see what happens in Kerbal when I do this. In Kerbal Space Program. Okay. So the strange thing is we actually have movement, though we really should not in doing such a thing. This is not ideal, to be honest. I think the tailplane should really be higher up. Should be up there. But okay. Second test that we need to do is a braking test. So I'm going to run the engines to, let's say, 50 meters per second, which should be good for our liftoff. And then I'm going to slam on the brakes to ensure that we can slow this aircraft down. Okay, the brakes do seem to work. The rear brakes, I could make these stronger. That could be better if it was stronger. Right, let's try. Why is this not... Right, these... For some reason... This... Though this thing takes fuel quite easily and spools up immediately... Let's hit the brakes again. That's from 70. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Well, hello. Just suddenly snapped. Okay, revert the flight to launch. I think maybe that's got to do with a bumpy runway, perhaps. Okay, I have an idea. Go back to the spaceplane hangar. I have an idea. Silly idea, but I have an idea nonetheless. And that is to add parachutes to this particular aircraft. Just in case something goes wrong. So I will add the parachutes up at the top. There we go. Real shoot, radial shoot. Toggle info. Must go downwards to deploy. Sure, we will be going downwards. And I think... yeah, let's add... I'm going to add 2 of these on. Just in case. There we go. And I think also I'm going to add a drogue chute. Oh, but does this drogue chute actually work for does this work for deploying whilst I'm on the ground? Because if it could pour out the back, that would be ideal. I'm going to have that on this one, because ideally we will not need to use those 2. Let's save that, and I'm actually going to try and take this vehicle into the air. Right, the lights on. Let's give this a go. I'll switch that on as well. Whoa, what's with the lag? Sudden frame drops. Let's look for... I'm going to look for a rotate speed of... oh, it does not want to rotate. 70? 80? It's wobbling. 100. Okay, new problem. It just does not work. I think my... refer to spaceplane hanger. Why does it not work? Why does this not... does it... it has enough thrust to pick up speed. Surely the lift on this cannot be that bad. Fine, we'll try 130. Surely the lift on this thing cannot be that bad. What is the coefficient of lift on this thing? Does it say? No. Let me see if I can find the coefficient of lift on this wing. There it is. What do we have? No information on the lift. Maybe this just does not work. Really? That would have been a really useful... I mean, theoretically, this thing should be going up. Really easily. Oh, I'm just going to drop the fuel on this massively as well. Is there fuel in here? Let me just empty these of fuel. There you go. 13.8. We'll have fuel at the back and that's about it. Let's try this again. I don't know what those 2 are talking about, but my curiosity now is this. I'm very curious. Right, let's speed up to... let's get up to 100 and then try and go up. Nothing. Well, that's just awkward. I do not understand what's going on. There's no way that should require 120 meters per second to launch. Unless that is one incredibly poor wing. But let's see. Right. Let's try a much higher speed. I'm just curious about this now. This is turned into less of a... This is turned to less of actually getting something done and trying to work out why the aerodynamics of this particular wing do not work, because they should. Right. Let's do 130. Apparently the aircraft just disintegrates. I'm so confused. I'm so confused at this point in time. That should have worked. Maybe I should just go back to the Delta Wing then. At this point, the one that I know should not work, but then the one that I thought would work didn't work. So, yeah, what do I know apparently? And that's that. Oh, where did it go? Apparently everything I know about wings is wrong. Alright. That's a winglet. I want a full wing. That is... Yeah, that is a wing. In fact, that's the wing I want. That's big though. I know it says wingtip, but that is the wing I want. Can I not get a smaller version of that particular wing? That's a really high aspect ratio one. This could work. He says, you know, looking at the other ones, and none of those have worked. But I cannot resize these. Alright, but perhaps we should just go for the swept wings that I really do not think are going to be useful for what I'm trying. No, I want to take, if I'm going for a swept wing, I want a tapered swept wing. Or then I just want a structural wing. And not the one I was after. I throw on a stabilizer. Hang on. How about you and then a stabilizer? It does not look pretty, but that is another type of wing that could somehow work. I do not think so. I'm so confused. I'm genuinely at this point in time confused. I know what I want. I know what wing I want, but apparently they are not available. Weird wings. Very, very weird wings. I suppose I'll have to end this episode at some point a little bit earlier because of the confusion. Should I throw this one on and just see what happens? This is the widest wing you're ever going to have on an aircraft. But, I mean, at this point, it isn't looking too bad. There you go, you know, it is a... That could do. I mean, it's not horrible. Let's bring the tailplane into a much more logical place. Like there, for example. Okay. So, this isn't a high aspect ratio, it is still a medium aspect ratio, a moderate aspect ratio on it. It does not have... Alright, let's also up the brakes on this. It does not have any control surfaces, so perhaps I should add on... Let's have a look. Do we have elevons? There we go. Let's see. How do these look? They look pretty good. They do look pretty good. Let's see if I can throw them in somehow. There we go. And then I just need to position these correctly. I want them... That's a good location. That is a really good location for those. Okay. I'll do the same. Can I just throw them on? There you go. Do the same thing once again. And I'll do 3 lots of it. Because why not? Right. There we go. Okay, the outside one, no, we'll do that. There we go. These ones, I want... okay, I was hoping that perhaps I could control the throttle and... sorry, not throttle, the pitch and the roll on these, but apparently it will be the same all the way around. This aircraft is going to wobble massively. Let's add the engines in. That's what they look like. Let's put the engines on top. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that because, you know, why not? Why not? I think that's a reasonable place to have engines. So if this thing does not provide lift, I'm going to be incredibly confused and disappointed. It's typical Kerbal Space Program. Right, let's save that. The Leo Explorer, named after Leonardo da Vinci, is ready to launch once again. Right. It is 30 centimeters too large for the... Fine. You know what? You want to play like that? I can play like that. Are you going to tell me now that you're 30 centimeters too wide for the runway? Okay, fine. No. Oops. I doubt you can argue that I am 30 centimeters. 15.3, you've got to be kidding me. Okay. How about now? There you go. There we go. It's going. Right, so let's see what we can do with this. The wings are just very big. But if it works, it works. Why did I do a crew report? Lights on. There we go. Okay. Let's see if this lifts off. That's a problem. That's a whole new issue. That's going to burn away. New set of issues. I should have seen that one coming. I don't know why I didn't see that one coming. That got very hot very quickly. Maybe I can get away without those. No, I need a tailplane. I need a tailplane. What I'll do is I will move the tailplane quite low. There you go. Okay, where's the mass of this aircraft? Spacecraft. There we go. 5.7 tons. That's fine. I need delta V. I need to know what the aerodynamic efficiency of these wings are. That is what I need to know. I think that is the most important thing for me, but apparently I cannot access that. If somebody knows how to get that information, please do let me know in the comments box. That would be much appreciated. That would be much appreciated. But this is where I'm probably going to end the episode. In this loading screen, no. I'm going to try and take the aircraft off, and that is where I will end the episode for today. A little shorter, perhaps not as successful, but then what I'll do is, for the next episode, I will ensure that we are ready to go. Okay, please tell me you lift. You do. Oh, that's great. We are up and away. We are up and away. That is what I was after. Okay, great. So, how's the aircraft on turning? It is good on roll. Let's go ahead and get some crew reports from over the water. It looks like we can see the ocean's topography. It's a little bit wobbly, but in terms of behaviour of the craft, it is okay. The G-forces are a bit weird. Is that because of SAS? Ah, right, okay. The SAS is... I need to somehow try and figure that one out. But 163 meters per second, we are doing okay. Let's see if we can land there to end the episode. I mean, this is a good wing. This is a good wing. It's a little big, but it is a good wing. The other wing should have worked. The basic wing. Was it the fire splitter ones? Fire splitter? That should have worked. I'm not sure why it did not. Now, I have no idea which way. Oh, what's with the nose angle here? I'm not sure which way the runway is on that. I know it isn't lined up with Kerbin. Or sorry, the KSC, but I'm not sure which way it is. That being said, all we could do is pull out the parachutes and go for it from there. But let's see what we can actually pull off here. How do I... Let's see, can we just land... Oh, okay. This jet is not great. This engine is not great. I cannot really see my landing area. I am descending. It is going okay. I see the runway. I mean, it's there, but cannot see the... Where's the runway? Oh wait, I see lights. I'm too high. White over white. Oh, it's not really white over white. It's white for whites. But it's equivalent to white over white. You're high as a kite. Drop that nose. There we go. Oh, we're getting there slowly. I think I am going to use the parachutes. It's just, it is not easy to control this in Kerbal. It's just, this is not easy at all. Yeah, parachutes. Oh, that is awesome. If only that almost went exactly as I was hoping it would go. But we are successfully on whatever this escape island is. That is brilliant. Well, I think at least we managed to land the aircraft. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Kerbal Space Program. Leave a comment in the comments box below, letting me know what you think. Don't forget to support me on Patreon, www.patreon.com/ecgadget. Your support would be massively appreciated. It would really help me out. Also, you can find me on social media at ecgadgetlp for both Twitter and Instagram. We're going to recover the vessel, as I am doing now. All we've got is a little bit of science, but in the next episode, we are going to be using this vehicle to see if we can get some science by going around and exploring different areas. Please load. There we go, because I want to end without a black screen. There we go. Okay, 3.5 science, and it does not matter. There we go. Bob's got some ribbons, landing on Kerbin, and withstanding an acceleration of at least 3G for 3 seconds or more. Well, there we go. That's all from me, and I'll see you guys next time in Kerbal Space Program.